Are insects the future of food? In this radio program, you are going to hear some new words. Read and listen to them. Make sure you know what they mean. Locust, cricket, mealworm, livestock, gross. Ready? Now read the questions on the following page. Read them carefully before listening to the radio program.
Are insects the future of food? By the year 2050, the planet will be packed with 9 billion people. In low and middle income countries, the demand for animal products is rising sharply as economies and incomes grow. In the next few decades, we'll need to find new ways to produce enough protein for billions more mouths. I'm Jennifer Raz, and today my guest is Professor Marcel Dickey, who investigates the ecology of insect-plant interactions and researches the viability of insects as food. So let's get just a little bit more creative about what's on our plates, because that's what Marcel Dickey does. About once a week, Marcel and his wife have what some might consider an unusual ingredient with dinner: insects.
And it's something that we put, for instance, over a rice dish or in the vegetables or in salad.
What do you buy? Like which ones?
We have 3 species that are for sale in the Netherlands. That is, locusts, crickets and mealworms.
Yep, bugs, which, for the record, do not taste like chicken.
Quite often, they taste like nuts.
And you buy them alive?
No, we buy them at this moment freeze-dried. You can bake them, or you can fry them, or you can boil them.
Marcel Dickey is an entomologist. He studies and eats bugs. And he's actually written a whole insect cookbook with dishes like
pancakes with mealworms.
And for lunch,
a quiche with mealworms in it.
And, of course, dessert.
Chocolate topped with locusts.
Okay, those dishes might be a little unusual, but eating insects actually isn't so strange, is it? Because a lot of people around the world do so every day.
About 2 billion people on this planet eat insects. So that's about 30% that do that on a regular basis.
Even if you're not eating whole crickets or caterpillars, you're still eating insects. You just don't always know it.
Every one of us eats insects. It's impossible not to eat insects.
Even if we don't want to?
Even if you don't want to. And I'll give you an example.
Okay, please.
Tomato ketchup. Now and then, there will be one tomato that has a worm in it. And, well, not all those will be removed in the production process. And so a part of them will end up in the ketchup.
So you're saying that chocolate, peanut butter, noodles, almost any processed food has a small dose of insects. And in the not-too-distant future, do you think that we all might need to eat bugs out of necessity?
The human population is growing very rapidly. It will grow to about 9 billion in 2050. How are we going to feed this world? We will have a third more mouths to feed. And, as the world population is increasing, it's also getting wealthier. And anyone who gets wealthier starts to eat more meat. A meat effect is something that costs a lot for our agricultural production, because, at the moment, 70% of all our agricultural land is being used to produce livestock. We can increase productivity a little, but we still reach our limit very soon. We could do much better if we changed from meat to insects.
So, you see insects not only as a good alternative to meat, but as the future of food?
Absolutely.
Really?
Insects are an excellent alternative because they need much less land than what's needed to produce regular livestock. Livestock is so inefficient because for 1 kilogram of beef that you will get on your plate, you need about 25 kilograms of feed. Insects are doing a much better job. You need only about 2.2 kilograms of feed for 1 kilogram of cricket meat. So, If we're going to be forced to produce food in a more efficient way, then switching from regular meat and livestock to insects is a very logical thing to do. And even in terms of calories, it's very good. 1 kilogram of grasshoppers has the same amount of calories as 10 hot dogs or 6 Big Macs.
Professor Dickey, I see one pretty significant problem with all of this.
What problem would that be?
It's gross. Insects are disgusting. How could you eat them?
Yeah, that's the thing that comes to mind most often. But if you rethink it very seriously, you look at an insect, you take a locust or a cricket, and you take away the wings and legs, and then you put that next to a nice shrimp. If you look at them, they're basically the same. And even from a biological point of view, they're very close relatives.
But I can't even. I'm trying to be mindful and imagining biting into a locust, and it's just, I can't get there.
But when sushi was first sold in the markets in the United States, eating raw fish was not something well accepted. Now you can eat sushi everywhere.
Yes, that's true.
So there's all kinds of foods that maybe at the beginning aren't easily accepted by everybody, but often they become popular after a while.
So if actually, let's say we could get over this sort of cultural aversion in the West to eating lots of insects, and let's say we could just eat enough to really reduce our consumption of chicken and beef and pork and lamb. What would happen?
I think we would have a world population with a sustainable production of animal protein. And ideally, we would have a world population that would eat less meat. But it would also be good if we replaced at least part of our animal protein with new meats. And with this, I think, we would see a bigger variety of foods on our dinner table. We can make life even more enjoyable by having a bigger variety of foods to eat.
Thank you, Professor Dickey. I'm Jennifer Raz, and you've been listening to our show about food this week.